Oh, man. What year is it? What's that? Petroleum-based miasma thickening the air. The drone of traffic? No. Can't be. Not so soon. I've really got to get some sponsors. Looks like we're back in the dirty Jers once again. Far north, where even the Jersey Devil doesn't bother to tread. We have entered strange days. North Hudson Park is located in North Bergen, New Jersey, a Hudson County community. 2 miles west of New York's Central Park and about 1/4 the size, it is a pleasant center for recreation in an otherwise rather drab urban area that extends from Fort Lee in the north, along the top of the Palisades Sill, to Jersey City, 10 miles south. Approximately 500,000 people live in this densely populated promontory, sharply bounded on the east by the Palisades and the Hudson River. To the west are the vast, undeveloped stretches of the New Jersey Meadowlands. My lovely partner and I recently hiked the long and short path at Palisades Interstate Park, a relatively intense trail for the area. It features a long stretch of rock scrambles named Giant Stairs, and some steep inclines and declines to get down and back out of the shoreline. The views are gorgeous, overlooking the Hudson River, and the sheared cliff faces are stunning. The park includes a Women's Federation monument and a state line lookout, as well as many other elevated vantage points along the shoreline. The area was also home to a 38-acre amusement park from 1898 until 1971, remaining one of the most visited amusement parks in the country until the end of its existence. After the park closed in 1971, a high-rise luxury apartment complex was built on its site, the Winston Towers 300. But we are looking for a different high-rise, one whose name automatically evokes an air of ancient secrets and mystery. Coincidentally, it's a perfect setting for the strange and unexpected events that have taken place at various times since January 1975, according to a growing number of independent reports by local residents. The Stonehenge apartment building is a tall, cylindrical building that looks less like a modern skyscraper than it does a medieval Irish round tower. Familiar to us already, this land of forgotten amusement parks and high strangeness brings us to a new kind of sighting, one you have to look to the sky to see. George Obarski owned and operated a liquor store. I know, it would be more humorous if he owned a bar, but something journalistic integrity. Notably ironic, he himself was a teetotaler, but as a famous Brooklyn poet, Christopher Wallace, once declared, never get high on your own supply. At around 2:45 a.m. on January 12, 1975, George Obarski was driving home through North Hudson Park, New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from Manhattan, when static filled his radio. Leaning forward to fiddle with the dial, he noticed a light to his left. A quick glance, followed by an astonished stare, revealed its source, a dark, round object with vertical, brilliantly lit windows. It was heading in the same direction as the car and emitted a humming sound. Obarski slowed down for a better view. The UFO entered a playing field and hovered a few feet off the ground. A panel opened between two windows and a ladder emerged. Seconds later, about 10 identically clad little figures, they wore white one-piece outfits with hoods or helmets that obscured their facial features, came down the ladder. Each figure dug a hole in the soil with a spoon-like device and dumped in the contents into a bag each carried. The figures then rushed back into the ship, which took off toward the north. The entire incident had lasted less than 4 minutes. Months later, Obarski confided the story to a longtime customer and acquaintance, Bud Hopkins, who was interested in UFOs. Hopkins and two fellow investigators subsequently found independent witnesses who verified the presence of a brightly lit UFO in the park at the time of Obarski's sighting, although only Obarski was close enough to see the little figures. One witness, a doorman at an apartment complex bordering the park, said that as he watched the object, he heard a high-pitched vibration and the lobby window broke just as the UFO departed. Next week, in part 2, we'll dive into the report and investigations done on the area by Ted Blocher, Bud Hopkins, and Jerry Stirrer. To end our story today, I'd like to refer to that report and the interviews done with a doorman working at Stonehenge the night of Obarski's sighting. A couple notes that reinforce George's story. The doorman of the nearby Stonehenge apartments was interviewed, and in the course of these inquiries we learned that a plate glass window in the lobby of the building had been cracked under mysterious circumstances at about the same time as Obarski's encounter. The former doorman had indeed seen unusual lights on the night the window had been broken, and that this happened at the same time of night as the Obarski sighting. The broken window was not the only unusual physical effect associated with the appearance of lights. Pawlowski told us that he had noticed on the same morning when he went off duty at 8 a.m. that a large elm tree in the park just across Boulevard East had likewise been mysteriously damaged. The cause of the damage was unknown, as there had been no storm to account for it.